everyone, welcome to this knit my first cardigan with me video. I thought I'd stay true to my promise to myself that I would make something like this. It will be a bit more like random is not the right word, provisional. It will be a bit more experimental, this kind of style. Like I've got my hair in a braid, I've got on my my college shirt, I've just been out for a walk. It'll start raining any minute again, but I started knitting this yesterday. I've swatched for the cardigan a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago, and then I was like, okay, I can't stop thinking about this project, so I started it. I decided to go up half a needle size in the needles that I'm working with, just because I thought the fabric was really kind of like dense, and because I don't have a lot of yarn, I mean I do have enough probably, but it's hand dyed, it's expensive. I want it to be a bit more oversized than the pattern probably suggests. So I thought I'd pick my size, which is a large in most patterns. Is between a 3 and a 4. I'm usually with my bust measurements, so I usually pick size 4. And I thought, let's pick 4. Let's knit up the first kind of like 10-15 centimeters. Hope for the best, because I was like, I don't want to frog back. Those increases are intense. I'm looking forward to wearing it, quite possibly sooner rather than later. And so, I mean, I was going into this hoping that my alterations would work, and I think they did. So, judging from the fabric that I got, so the first couple of rows, this is a lot more airy, I guess. I need to see, I don't have 4 inches or 10 centimeters yet. This is more like 6 or 7 centimeters. So I might do a couple more rows and then see if I've got gauge. I mean, if I don't have gauge by maybe 1 or 2 stitches, that is okay, I guess. For me it is, at least. I don't need this to be like perfect on that regard. I'd rather have it a bit more roomy than too tight. And with this, I had the perfect stitch gauge, but I had about like 2 or 3 rows. It was about 2 or 3 rows too short, so the row gauge didn't match, which I've never had happen to me before. But because I thought this is also quite a dense gauge, I'd go up from a 4 to a 4.5, and from a 3 to a 3.5 on the ribbing, like button band. And so I'm going to see if this is going to work. Let's see if I'll remember to film. This is, I'm just putting it out there. I'm going to do it. I'm going to film whenever I've got progress to show you guys on this project. It is April 13th, which I've got about 2 weeks left in April. Let's see if I can get some good progress into this April cardigan by Petite Knit, which I'm making using the explorerknits and fibers suri alpaca lace suri in petrichor, which is stunning, and the Brooklyn tweed loft in fossil, which is a stunning tonal kind of like neutral color. That's it. That's the start of my April cardigan. See the saddle shoulder detail right here, and I'm going to update you whenever I've got more progress to share. I'm just doing the ribbing on my second sleeve. This is not focusing. I've done the first, come on, focus. I've done the first sleeve, but somehow you can see, why is it not working? There. This all looks really nice and tidy with the tubular bind off, but also here, right there, I've somehow made a mistake, and I don't really know why. And also, I think this looks quite wide, so I'm trying to be a bit more, how do you say, like stern with my binding off, a bit more tight. And yeah, so I don't know why this is like trying to focus on there. This is where I am at the moment. I'm just watching Inga from Knitting Traditions. I've got the blinds all down because we've just watched Mandalorian, the last episode that came out this Friday, and yeah, so I'm finishing off this sleeve now. Hi guys. So yesterday I watched Amanda's Knits by Mandy's video on how she made this V-neck sweater by Kadri. And I was like, you should probably talk a bit more through your making process of the April cardigan, because I had also started this, like filming this video that you're watching a couple of weeks ago when I started knitting this April cardigan. And then I had watched Svenja's knits. I think she also made the April cardigan. No, champagne cardigan, I think she made. Making vlog, and I was like, okay, maybe you should start like talking to the camera about your knits, like actually speaking through the process, because I've been only like filming my work in progress, because it's been, I don't know, I haven't felt like stepping in front of the camera. And so now this is honestly, I think this is actually working out well. I wanted to show you my progress, because I've been only like filming whenever I've wore it, and now I've just gotten ready to go to the gym. It's Saturday now, and I've just finished my second sleeve yesterday. It has 2 sleeves. And I love the like dangling of the row markers. So nice. That'd actually be a really nice detail on a cardigan. I also have them right here for the V-neck. This is something that Hannah from Knits and Pearls, no, Pearls and Pages. I have like a hair right there. It was just bothering me so much. So this was something that Hannah from Pearls and Pages and Chelsea from the True Lane Knitting podcast were talking about. I don't know who was talking about it first, but they were talking about it to each other, I think, because they're doing like a micro knit along for another V-neck construction. So I was saying to my boyfriend yesterday that it looks like this bolero type that we were wearing when we were around, I think, 16 years old, so 12 years ago. And we're going to this like dance ball. Like for us, I don't know if this is like a German thing or if like the youth, teenagers do it around the world. We all went to kind of like a dance school to learn how to like do the classical dances, I don't know. And then at the end we had this ball, like this gala event where we all danced, and it was like an unspoken rule that every girl that was wearing a dress had to wear kind of like this really short cardigan, because there was the case of like getting your arms like getting cold and like covering up whenever you weren't dancing. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, but I thought it was so funny that this actually looked like a bolero. So I'm just wearing my outfit, like my gym outfit, which is not how I would usually style this, but actually it looks okay. I think the sleeves are actually the perfect length, because I know this might like grow just a tiny bit, and so it's just like at a point where it is like right in my armpit, and it still has a good amount of length. And I did like follow the instructions so far pretty much to a T. I did pick up a couple of more stitches like right in the crease, like on the side, to avoid getting holes right there and there. So I picked up, I think on this side I picked up 2 more stitches, and on this side I don't know why, but I had to pick up 4 more stitches, which I then decreased right away. This is not a good look, but yeah, which I then decreased right away. And then, like I said, lengthwise I've only just like come right beneath my boobs. So there's still a long way to go, but also it's just like knitting in a row, like knits, purls, knits, purls. Like personally, I don't hate purling as much as other people might. I mean, I don't love it as much as I love knitting, but also I like having the, because I mean, you usually knit more than you purl. Like, at least for the projects that I'm knitting, there always comes the point where you have like some stockinette in the round, or for example with knitting socks, which I usually always have a pair of socks going, there isn't as much like purling going on. So I don't really mind the process of purling in this cardigan, but also maybe that is because I want this guy to be finished like right away so I can wear it, because I love it. I mean, I'm trying to show you the colors, which I think are actually coming off quite well on the camera. It has like beiges and gray and kind of like a bit of purplish hues somewhere in between there. It has a couple of these like darker specks as well. Actually some, yeah, I don't know, I'm probably not the best like I'm at explaining colors, but I really like it. And like I said, I thought I had to like actually speak to the camera, although I'm like mid-project. Like halfway through the project, I felt like I should give a check-in. Like I said, I've just like gotten ready for the gym, so the hair is up, the leggings are on, and it is Saturday, so I will be knitting a bit more. I'm actually thinking about filming something. I'm not like convinced that an alone standing Q&A is going to be a good idea, because actually some of the questions are difficult to answer. Some of them I've already answered, so I'm not sure if I should be repeating myself with those questions, or if people are like interested in how my answers might change. I don't know, from like the last time that I did it. But I'm actually, yeah, I'm thinking about what I'm going to film maybe today or tomorrow, because I do need to use this weekend where I don't have anything else going on, because like, usually with work I'm not able to film during the week. And I've really been enjoying like getting up videos every couple of weeks, every 2 weeks, and because I'm like watching so much knitting YouTube that I'm like, if some of my favorite YouTubers weren't like uploading as regularly as they are doing it, I'd be upset. So I don't know if anyone likes to watch me as much as I like to watch other people, but if that is the case, I like need to get out some content for you guys every couple of weeks. So I don't know, like now the gates have opened and I'm like blabbling on. I've been reading a lot. I want to talk about what I've been reading, but that doesn't have anything to do with this cardigan, does it? So yeah, the last thing that I wanted to talk about is I am a bit scared of the button band, because I've never done such thing before ever. I am not going to do there was like a huge bumblebee outside there right now. I'm not doing the cardigan like double knitting button band thing that some people have been doing from the champagne cardigan to this. I'm actually like knitting this pretty much to pattern, and then if I ever want to, I can also make the champagne cardigan. I thought I actually quite like the rib look, although the double knitting band might be a bit more like polished. I will be trying that in another project, I think. So yeah, update, got my 2 sleeves finished, have about a third of the body done. This is not working. So I need to do maybe that much more, and then the ribbing. I think I have enough yarn. I've been rationing it, like trying to, I'll show you. I do have this much and this much left from the sleeves. A bit of this has gone into the body as well, so that's why I have a bit less of the suri from this side and then that from the other side. But I think that should be enough for the button band. At least I hope it will be. But I do also have a whole, why is everything falling on the floor? Like, I have a whole of the both of them. Like, I haven't tucked into these. I haven't, how do you say that? I haven't started knitting with those 2 skeins, so with those 2 cakes. So I think it should be fine. I'm going to use these for the body and then see how much I've got left. Maybe knit until I just have maybe like this amount left from this. Let's just hope. And I will be knitting more on this weekend. Let me show you like actual footage of me wearing this. This is like bunching up quite a lot. I've actually got this on the petite knit bands, which I love. I always put the raglan stitches on something like this, and like I said, I can, for now, I can just like pull them down like this. This is like making them a bit shorter. But yeah, so far I love it. Like I said, I will have to knit another 15 to 20 centimeters before I start the ribbing. But yeah, I really like it. I will be off to the gym now, and then I'll see, it's around 1 p.m. now. I will see whatever I'll be able to film later. And I shall vow to keep you updated on this process a bit more, since I've not been good at doing that. So I'm just trying on the cardigan now to see if I'm happy. To see if I'm happy with the length before I start the ribbing. I'll show you. So this is where I'm at now, and I'm about 2-3 rows away from what the pattern calls for. I think that this fabric will relax some. If it doesn't relax enough, I will lengthen the sleeves by maybe 1 centimeter. With this body, I just think that it's at a good length, actually. I mean, I don't want to... Obviously, it's bunching up a bit because it's on the cord and on the needles still. But yeah, I don't know. I like it. So I'm trying to finish off this ribbing today and do the tubular bind off. Although I didn't do the tubular bind off for the sleeves. I did just, hold on. I did just do the Italian bind off, which I think is totally fine. So I will also be doing that for the body ribbing. I'm just watching a podcast and have been reading a bit. And so, yeah. So it's a bit later in the day and I went to my knitting circle meeting with the ladies from my knitting group. And I didn't take my April cardigan to that because I was at the point of picking up stitches and I was just a bit afraid I might make a mistake or I might need to concentrate more on counting. And so I'm now I've picked up the stitches. I have about, I'd say, 12 less stitches than was recommended in my size, which obviously has to do with rows and how many rows you've done for your size, and if you've like exactly knitted the pattern like petite knit had. And obviously I haven't like knitted it perfectly to it, and with over 360 stitches, I don't think 12 stitches will make it look any less like neatly or nice. I've picked up every stitch, like one stitch for every stitch, like it was recommended in the pattern. I'm always hoping like I'm not saying too much when I'm talking about pay for patterns, but obviously if you have a bit of an idea of how knitting is done, you know those things, I think, or you could tell those things. So yeah, I'm not saying the exact stitch counts, although I might just put like I picked up 12 less stitches in my Ravelry page as well, because I want to give you guys like a good idea on how I did it on my Ravelry page, because obviously I was pretty like with the yarn I have left. I have a bit more left than this. This is just the smallest one of the suris left. I've weighed the leftover yarn and I want to see how much I need it for the button band, because I'm really hoping I will win this yarn chicken. Because of the loft, I don't have much more left of that. I think I've got like 37 grams left of it in like 3 of those little bowls, and I'm just using the first bowl and I'm on the 3rd row, if that makes sense. So I think I might be good. I'm continuing knitting this. I've put markers into the knitting to show me where I will be putting the, can you actually see that? It's a bit difficult to show, right? So I will be able to see where I need to do the buttonholes, obviously. And it's the 30th of April today. It is, let me see. It is 7:15. Am I going to be able to finish this tonight? Lots of like wishing myself luck for this task. I do think I can do it. Honestly, I do think I can do it. I will continue knitting on this, but like I said, it was a goal of mine to be able to put really helpful notes into my April cardigan project page on Ravelry, just because I was wondering how do you do it if you run out of yarn when doing the button band? Because obviously I have done like the Italian bind off, and so there isn't a space where I could get yarn easily. I could go into my gauge swatch, obviously, but other than that, I actually don't know. I don't know if I've said this in this video because I'm filming this over a whole month, basically, or like 3 weeks, throughout the whole time that I'm knitting on this. I'm knitting each part of the cardigan with a needle size, like half a needle size up. So if the pattern requires a needle size 4 millimeters, I'm using a 4.5. If it requires a 3mm, I'm using a 3.5, and so on. So that I'm doing because the gauge swatch led me to believe that the project could benefit from a bit more like airiness, because it was quite dense. And the yarn that I was using, most of the patterns had used a mohair instead of a suri, so that suri is sometimes a bit shorter and a bit more fluffy, I guess. And then the loft is also, I think, kind of like a thick fingering weight or like a really light DK, if I'm not mistaken on that point. And so I think all in all, my yarn is a bit thicker than was like intended from petrichor. So yeah, that is why I chose to do it that way. I'm quite tired already. I've had a lot of social interaction this weekend, and sometimes that can mentally drain me a bit, even though I enjoy myself or I like talking to the people that I talk to, family and friends. But yeah, I'm realizing that I need some like shutting off, being just in my with myself time, or Hannes, because he doesn't really count. He's always good to be around. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to show you before I put on the buttons, of course, but I actually can't wait to wear this. I'm in love with this project and I can't wait to finish it, to be able to wear it. I speak to you soon whenever I've got some more things to report about, but yeah. Hi guys, it's around 11 o'clock in the morning. Today it is the 4th? No, it's the 1st of May. I've been awake for about 4 hours or such, like around 4 hours, and I love waking up early on days that I have off work. When I do have to work, it's a bit more difficult to get out of bed. I guess that's pretty normal. I've been finishing up the button band, knitting the button band, and now I'm doing the Italian bind off. I was just watching some vlogs and knitting vlogs while doing my Italian bind off, and I'm about a third through. And I think I didn't have enough tension at the beginning. I think it will be fine when I'm blocking out the whole thing. I will be careful to see that I don't block out this area anymore. But I then went back into the pattern and it said that you should be trying to work it quite firmly, and I just hadn't read that before. And I think it's fine. I'm trying to use some of the leftover yarn, so I will be attaching more yarn of it. I just have this like much left, which is not enough for the rest of the Italian bind off. But yeah, so in the beginning it just is a bit more like, it still looks good. I think just this bit could have been a bit more firm, and then going up here it's just a bit tighter, I guess. But because I've had the experience of being like doing the Italian bind off too tight, especially on my Farnham tee, I was like pulling it too tightly, and that didn't work out too well for me. I was worried that it wouldn't be enough yarn, and it definitely was. I have a lot of yarn left, but I'm going to put all of these things like really detailed in my Ravelry page, and I'm going to move on now. I have a bit of a like neck pain. I do need to stretch a bit. I've been stretching this morning, but it's just maybe I was sleeping like weirdly. I don't know. It could also be from knitting, of course, but yeah, we'll see about that. Okay, let me move on and then I'll show you. I want to block this today so it'll be able to like dry over the next couple of days. With the weather we're having in Germany right now, it should be fine to be able to wear this actually as like a jacket to put over like a thin like long sleeve shirt or a t-shirt if it's a bit warmer. So I think I'll be like able to get somewhere out of this spring. Like I said, it's the 1st of May, so this is definitely like the big April knit, but it'll be done on the 1st of May, I think. Okay, moving on.